Yo, what it do, everybody? This your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. This is episode 40 of the 1130 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling. What's going on with everybody out there? Appreciate you guys joining me back here for another episode. You dig, man? Good morning, good night, good afternoon to all my listeners all across the world, man. All across the world. When I mean that, I mean all across the world, because this episode is going to be a very fun one, you guys, man. But shout out to my listeners in the States, in Canada, Germany, and the UK, you guys. Speaking of the UK, my guest is coming to you guys and coming to me from the UK, you guys. Nottingham, United Kingdom. He's the host of the Backboard podcast. Man, I met this guy and just networking and podcasting, man. I've been doing this for some time, as you guys may know. And as you've been doing it and you stay consistent with it, people, will latch on to you and, in a good way. And my man Jay is here to share his podcast, to talk some wrestling here on the podcast. We're going to have some fun, man. We're really going to have some fun, you guys. But before we get to that, you guys, don't forget to subscribe to the 1130 podcast on YouTube. Yes, hit that subscribe button, like it, leave a comment, share it, man. And hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode. And don't forget, you guys, to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. But you guys, man, like I was saying, new episode here. My guy, Jay Martin, he's going by Jay here. And he's the host of the Backboard podcast. Jay, how's it going?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, man. I'm doing wonderful. I'm glad you joining me on the podcast this week, man.
It's a pleasure to be here, honestly.
Yeah, that's really cool. Like I was saying, you're from the UK, and I know you guys are a couple of hours, some hours ahead. How is it, man? Just how is it in the UK right now?
It's a bit rubbish, we've got that crazy guy with the mop head in power at the moment, so he's not done the best of jobs, and we're in a lockdown, so it's staying in all day, doing all my work, and then going to sleep basically, and kind of just waiting for the days when I can do podcasts and talk to people like this, because I really enjoy it, and it's something I enjoy, and it's probably the best thing we can really do at the moment. So yeah, it's a bit doom and gloom.
That's what's up, man. That's really cool. I love you, man. I love your style. I love your podcasting, man.
Thank you.
Just keep up the great work. For my viewers and my subscribers just joining me here on the podcast this week, can you tell them something about you?
Well, yeah, I've been doing podcasting for 11 months now. I'm 15, as you say, from Nottingham, and I started podcasting to get people motivated and to kind of test out what it's like doing podcasts and stuff. My stepdad used to love them, and I kind of thought, well, I like talking. People sometimes enjoy me talking, so why not give it a shot and get on Anchor and do some podcasting and stuff. So 11 months strong on the 27th of February. And we talk about everything from MMA to politics, and we interview loads of really cool people. So, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. You say you talk MMA. What type of guys from MMA you had on your podcast?
We've had Eric Anders. You know Eric Anders? We were going to have Devin Powell, who used to be UFC and Bellator as well. Okay. We've been in talks with Tarantula MMA. We were going to try and get Michael Bisping on. Big household name. I've met him before. So, but more in the future. We're arranging them all now, but it's been quite difficult because a lot of them have turned me down for not having enough views and stuff, and now I'm kind of getting in a good place. People are starting to, want to come and join me. So, yeah.
Okay, man. That's really, really cool. You're a big fan of MMA?
I love it. It's the best.
Okay. Yeah, you prefer MMA or wrestling?
Do you know what? This is the thing. Hey, I love them both because I started enjoying wrestling when I was probably about 4 or 5. I started with getting the 2008 SmackDown versus Raw WWE game on PS3. And since then, I just loved wrestling. But, over recent years, it's kind of been like with school and stuff, it's been, watching TV and stuff is like, it's rare for me now. But I do want to get back into it, But
okay.
I do love MMA and wrestling. I think equally, I would say.
Okay. You say about 5 years old, you got into wrestling?
Yeah, 5 years old, I started watching.
Okay, yeah, that's earlier than I did. I got into wrestling about 9 years old.
Mm.
What was the moment, that you fell in love with it? What was the moment that gravitated towards you?
Well, do you know what? It was more, I would say, well, it was weird because I was having my birthday party and stuff, and I'd been given this disc, and it was the game I mentioned, and I thought we'll give it a try. I'd heard of wrestling, but I'd never really kind of done it, and I'd watched it, and I watched my stepdad play the game, and I kind of played it, and I'm like, okay, I've got to start watching this, and then I kind of watched some like oldies, like Andre the Giant versus Hulk
Mhm.
Hogan,
Yeah.
and it just. I mean, obviously, it kind of became a meme when people started RKOing people and stuff. But I've always loved wrestling, man.
Yeah, man. When the RKO took fire, and I think social media really, picked up and everything, that's where Randy Orton really became over the top with it, because he just started RKO everybody, from Batman to Superman, from the grocery store worker, everything, man. So, yeah, man, that's what's up, man. I remember that game. That was one of my favorite games that I had. I haven't been into the games lately, especially like the
Mm,
Battleground one that came out last year,
mm.
the other WWE game that came out the year prior. I didn't get that game because I was going to get it, but I heard everybody was like, "Man, don't get it because it's glitches and everything like that." So I was like, "Well, I'm not going to waste my $65 on the game." So I mean, yeah, great game. I remember those games, man. SmackDown and Raw was it, man? It was really really popping at that time. But
Oh, it's best.
what's your thoughts on wrestling now? I mean, you're enjoying it now, and you know of it. What's your thoughts on wrestling as a whole now?
I mean, it's definitely changed, over the years, and I suppose I think I've watched less of wrestling as it's got on into most recent years, and I don't even know why that is. To be fair, I think it's the more old style wrestlers we were used to seeing. Back then it's kind of become more of a rarity to see them now, and for me, I sort of having not watched it for a while, it became kind of difficult to get back into. But I was used to playing when I played on the game. My favorite character would either be Rey Mysterio or the Great Khali. That would be I just not seeing them in a while. I miss them, but you know it's one of them.
Oh, okay, okay, cool. You're a big fan of Great Khali?
I love Great Khali. Beast, beast.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. But you guys, man, we're gonna move on here on Talk Pro Wrestling. We're gonna get into some more wrestling. You have a podcast, the Backboard Podcast. It's really, really great, really, really dope. And you're accomplishing things. You say you've been podcasting for 11 months. Can you tell my listeners about your podcast?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've been doing it 11 months, as you say. We've interviewed, during the tough times that we're in, it's been quite hard to get guests because in July last year, I built a studio. I worked as hard as I could and I built a studio, got all the equipment in, and then we got locked down again. So all my dreams of having studio, guests, we did have a few, were just taken away. And for me, the podcast was a way of kind of releasing good energy, talking to people, and people have so far enjoyed it, and it's actually got me careers doing podcasting. I've been scouted by the BBC in the UK to do work experience, and I've been offered a job down in London doing podcasting and stuff. So it's definitely helped me in life, and it's also a fun hobby that I enjoy, and I encourage anybody to go out and do it. So it's incredible.
Yeah, it really is, man. For the last couple of years, podcasting has been taking off, and
Mm.
it's over about what 800,000 podcasters out there, and man, so I recommend everybody out there, man, just do it. Everybody is stuck in a house. Everybody's working from home, mostly using Zoom or whatever streaming software. So yeah, and a
Mm.
lot of people have something to say. So you don't want to sit on your goals or your dreams, man, and and just waste them. So yeah, keep doing your thing, Jay. Keep doing your thing.
Thank you.
What inspired you to create a podcast, though?
Well, I think actually people such as yourself, people who do podcasting and, even people who were, because at the time when, I mean, you're over a year old now, aren't you? Congratulations on that, by the way. You're doing amazing. And
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
enjoy
Thank you.
watching, new podcasts and people starting up, and I thought, I've got to try this out. Love listening to podcasts. I love listening to Joe Rogan specifically because his guests are just amazing and he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
And I wanted to kind of be like that. Not I wanted to be Joe Rogan, but I wanted to run a podcast. I wanted people to hear what I've got to say and what I have to kind of offer, and it's probably the best thing I've done in a very long time, So yeah, it's the best thing to get into ever.
Yeah, that is right. That's exactly the reason why I started the podcast back in December of 2019. And actually when my buddy, was staying around with me, and I was always say, man, like, hey man, because we always has great conversations, and I would just be like, man, just turn on the camera, like, we could record. And not everybody can, see your dreams, not everybody can see your vision. So, if it's right for you, and it's gonna happen for you. But for me, I just said, man, I got a lot to talk about, whether it's wrestling or whether it's something that I may just know a little something about. I just want to, share what I have to say and contribute to it. So, and as far as been, doing good. So that's really cool, man. That's really cool. But we're gonna move on, you guys, man, to some wrestling, man. The Royal Rumble went down this past Sunday, and man, oh man, it was a great Royal Rumble. Jay, how did you enjoy it, man? I mean, did you like it?
It was incredible. You know what? I think Royal Rumbles never ever fail to amaze me. And considering, as I say, I'd taken a few years off. Watching it back, it was like, whoa, And it is incredible because obviously at the moment, considering the times that we're in, watching something like that, it really cheers you up,
Yeah, you're right. This is Royal Rumble, particularly, in my opinion. I believe it was, of course it was different. Of course, we didn't have fans, and it was in the WWE Thunderdome, et cetera, et cetera. The last couple of years been, a little off in a way. Besides last year, I mean, Drew McIntyre winning the Royal Rumble and kicking Brock Lesnar out was the moment, like, for him, and it just shooting him off into stardom, But this year's Royal Rumble was great. We kicked it off, you guys, as we do it on the podcast. We're going to recap some wrestling, of course. The Royal Rumble, we kicked it off with Drew McIntyre defeating Goldberg, in which was a okay match. What's your thoughts on Goldberg returning to wrestling?
It's definitely interesting. I've always enjoyed Goldberg. I've always enjoyed the sort of the trash talk element to him, but I've always enjoyed that trash talk element and that sort of the hard guy element. He talks it, but he can really walk it as well. He is a great athlete. He is a joy to watch. But yeah, it was an okay matchup, but he is a great athlete.
Yeah, great athlete. I think it's time for, he has a contract where he does, I think, compete twice a year, and, he's getting paid, and I don't know, the match he had with The Undertaker, and he had he did it with the jackhammer, almost landed Undertaker on his head, and the same, almost happened at the Royal Rumble. But thank God he didn't. Drew McIntyre walked away. The respect was shown from Goldberg to Drew McIntyre. Cool matchup. Also, you guys, we had the SmackDown Women's Championship on the line. We had Sasha Banks taking on Carmella, which was a cool match. I'm really intrigued about Reginald. The match he had on SmackDown a couple of weeks ago with Sasha Banks was really, really cool. I really would like to see more intergender matches. Would you?
Oh yeah, definitely, because I think there's this idea that maybe men are more superior in sports, and I think we need to take down that idea. I think it is a great idea to see fights like that happen. And I think this is the same for UFC as well. Because and boxing and stuff like that. Because let's all face it, we all want to see Jake Paul get beaten by all the female UFC fighters and stuff that he's been chatting shit about. So, but yeah, definitely want to see that 100%.
Okay, 100%. All right, Sasha Banks, of course, retains her SmackDown Women's Championship. We're going to see in the future on SmackDown where this goes. because of the outcome of the Women's Royal Rumble. This was a great Royal Rumble, Women's Royal Rumble match. Who did you have? What was your predictions for the Women's Royal Rumble?
Tough one, to be fair. Do you know what? I went in with the Royal Rumble not knowing many of the people because, as I say, and not watching it for a while and stuff. But it was always going to be good fights, and it was always going to be tough. Do you know what I mean? So, to be honest with you, I had no predictions for that. I thought it was going to be tough all round, to be fair.
Oh, okay. Bianca Belair, came out on top with that one, and we're going to see where that goes leading up to WrestleMania. So, hey, I'm loving it. Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks, that's going to be really, really good. Really, really good. Another great matchup. We have Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, going up against KO, and which was kind of the match of the night, really, from them brawling throughout the whole football stadium or the baseball stadium where Tampa Bay Rays play out here in the States. Great matchup. Also, we seen Bad Bunny perform for a lot of people who may know him. Some people enjoyed the performance, some didn't. Due to that, I didn't understand most of it. It was okay. I didn't really get it. A lot of people would, more getting on Bad Bunny, the fact that he loves wrestling. He's a superstar. He's popular. He got a #1 hit out right now. What's your thoughts on people bad shaming others for liking wrestling? Due to the fact that also I may add, due to the fact that I also may add that it's predetermined.
Well, I think if you don't like, so people watch films on a regular basis, right? And they enjoy films. Films aren't, real. Do you know what I'm saying? They are all, as you say, predetermined and whatnot. So why wouldn't you like wrestling? It's this idea of you don't know what's going to happen, but you can make predictions. And it's the same with films. I enjoy wrestling personally because although it is, as you say, predetermined, it's incredible. It's incredible to watch people do what they're doing, and still staying safe whilst doing all this crazy stuff, and it's an incredible thing to watch. Wrestling is an incredible sport. People, they really give it their all and the fans love it. And there's no better atmosphere than being at the wrestling arena when it's happening and watching it, So my advice to them would be watch wrestling more often and you'll see why it's so good.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, speaking of being at the arenas, have you been to a show?
I was meant to go to one. I was looking at going to one a few years back. I never ended up going, but I think one day I would have to go, either if it's with my kids in the future, or me, whatever. But they did one in Nottingham a few years ago. I know that. And I wish I'd gone to that, but who knows? In the future, I'd love to come over to the States and go to like a massive arena and watch it. And it'd be really, really cool to see the atmosphere.
Okay. That'll be really, really cool, man. Really, really cool. A lot of fans are screaming for WrestleMania over in the UK, and I say, as far as the UK fans, man, they are diehard wrestling fans. They really enjoy it. I love when the WWE goes over to the UK because they're so passionate. It's not usually when they're in Salt Lake City, Utah. And no offense to Salt Lake City, Utah, but I'm just saying. But when you go there and the crowd just be, dead. And then when you go to Nottingham, United Kingdom, and the crowd is just going wild, it's just the atmosphere is a little, different there. So that's what's up, man. That's what's up. But you guys also, Edge winning the Royal Rumble matchup, and he made his, he didn't make his choice, but he said on Monday Night Raw to Drew McIntyre that when he made his choice, he would know. That everyone would know. Not only that, he showed up on NXT also and said that, hey, Finn and Pete Dunne, you also would know because that's a title that he never had. In my opinion, with last year that, Charlotte winning the Royal Rumble and then picking Rhea Ripley. I mean, like we all can say, and officially now that the NXT is no longer WWE's developmental territory, in my opinion. Because, from if I was playing, Raw and SmackDown 2008 and I won the Royal Rumble, and I know it's not 2008, but if I won the Royal Rumble, I want to challenge a champion on Raw and SmackDown, and
Yeah.
to not shame NXT at all, though. But that's going to be really really interesting, really interesting to see where that goes. But you guys, man, here on the podcast, I got my guy Jay here, the host of the Backboard Podcast, talking some wrestling, man. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk some more wrestling. We're going to get to know Jay, and we're just going to have some more fun, man. Here on the 1130 Podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling. You dig, man? Sit tight. Hey guys, welcome back here to the 1130 Podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling. Appreciate you guys sticking with me throughout the break, you guys. My guest here joining me on Talk Pro Wrestling this week, the host of the Backboard Podcast, my guy Jay. Appreciate you joining me here on the podcast this week. Before the break, we were just talking some wrestling, man. Jay, man, just can you tell me just what you like to do? What's a day like, for Jay?
Well, usually it'd be playing football. I'm a massive football fan. I support Nottingham Forest, obviously the greatest team in the world, sadly not in the greatest division. But a day-to-day life for me would be doing podcasts, playing football. I also run a news station in my hometown as well, called NG9 News. And I think kind of just exploring and talking to new people really, is my hobby, and kind of getting to know other people's thoughts on things. So yeah.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. On my main podcast on YouTube, I had a guy named Malik Wilson. He was a CBS affiliated news reporter, personality here in the States and North Dakota. It was great talking to him, getting to learn him, because, I aspired, one day to, be on TV too, just like hopefully, you do. And you say you run a news station. Tell me about your news station.
Well, I mean, it's nothing on a major scale. You know what I mean? We are just starting up. We've been doing it for 3 weeks, so a month on Monday. And we we'll run about 3 articles a day, which I'll write up on my laptop at night. And we are looking soon to do live YouTube broadcasts and sort of, like the news at 6 sort of thing, on live on YouTube, kind of talking about local and national news affecting our area pretty much. So it's a passion of mine, as you say. To go on TV it'll be excellent. I've been on the radio a few times near me, and I'd love to do it hopefully as a career.
Yeah, me too. And I hope you go on to do that. And that would be really, really cool. Are you familiar with American football? Or you like
Philadelphia
UK
Eagles
football.
is all I'm saying.
Philadelphia.
Hey, UK football, that's about as much as I know.
Who's your favorite football team over there?
What, in America or?
In the UK.
Oh, in the UK, it would have to be Nottingham Forest.
Okay.
All the way. All the way.
Okay.
So
that's that. Tell me more about it, because as far as here, you guys call football, of course, soccer. And here, football is football. But how is it there? You play football. How was it?
Well, yeah, it's okay. I think the atmosphere in the UK is definitely more football focused, than I've seen with other sports, because I think it tends to be, if you've ever seen any of the arenas and, places where they play football in the UK, it's crazy, all, strolling around in their weird scarves and all the stuff, smoking and drinking and just shouting and getting drunk. It's amazing atmosphere watching and playing football in the UK for sure. There's nothing like it. There is nothing like it, honestly.
Yeah, as I see, man, you guys go all the way out for you guys sporting events, man, for real. But you guys, man, we're gonna hop back into some wrestling. Monday Night Raw this past week, of course, everybody, can't sit through a 3-hour Raw these days. And for my guy Jay here, Raw comes on, I know, over there really, really late. So, I know sitting up for Raw. Do you prefer 3 hours, or did you enjoy the 2 hour format?
Tough one. I think for me, it'd probably be the 2 hours. I think, yeah.
The two
Definitely.
hours. Yeah, I would consider it, because you guys are ahead of time over there. And Monday Night Raw this week wasn't that bad. It was actually a decent one this week. Of course, Edge won the Royal Rumble. He made his challenge. We seen Drew McIntyre get bro kicked by Sheamus. So everybody, this match kind of like been hitting for a little bit, that I knew he was gonna like turn on Drew, just waiting for the right moment. But look like they're gonna have a big match leading up to WrestleMania. Just give Drew something to do in between WrestleMania. What's your thoughts on Sheamus and Drew McIntyre?
One word: beast. Honestly, incredible. As I said to you earlier, incredible athlete. Dominant, I think, as well. They're going to do some big things, and I think they're going to change the way we look at WWE very, very soon. And as they are now, very powerful.
You're right about that. Speaking of Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, international superstars, we're gonna get back to Raw in just a bit. How do you enjoy? Do you watch NXT UK?
I try to as much as I can. I do try to, because obviously sometimes there is time constraints for me, because I'm busy most of the time, either with school from 8 a.m. till 4, and then working later on at night and stuff. So it does get difficult, but whenever I can, yeah, I do try and watch it, and I do really, really enjoy it.
Okay, cool. But you guys, man, we gonna move on. We seen Edge compete in his first matchup this past week on Monday Night Raw. Was incredible. Edge went out, with an injury. Now he's back. He came back at the Royal Rumble last year. This year he wins it. Had a match against Randy Orton. The match was cool. Alexa Bliss is playing her mind games as usual, and I think Alexa Bliss is just fantastic. Just keep doing what she's doing. Just keep doing it. In other news, as far as Raw, you guys, cool matchup with Carlito, Jeff Hardy. It's really cool to see Carlito back in WWE. He didn't have his Apple this week. I was kind of like disappointed. I mean, he had it on the Royal Rumble, but he didn't have it on Monday Night Raw. So I was like, where's his Apple at? Are you familiar with Carlito?
I'm pretty sure I know him. He's been gone quite a while, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been gone for a little while right now. But yeah, he's back. He's back, and that's going to be what's up. You say you're in school. How's school going?
Tough. I think they've cancelled our equivalent of, I don't know what you'd call your end of school exams before you go off to college and then up to university and whatnot. But we've got our GCSEs cancelled, so all the work we do will get predicted on a big spreadsheet, and then they'll send us off to do whatever, really. But I'm looking to try and get a job for this guy that I was mentioning earlier. But yeah, it's all a bit difficult at the moment, trying to work and run a podcast, as I say, and do all your schoolwork and stuff. It does become really, really tiring, and it's really difficult,
Yeah. If you can have anyone on your podcast, who would it be?
You know what? I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to Elon Musk. I'm a big fan of Elon Musk. I'm a big fan of the work he does. I think people view billionaires specifically in a very, very sort of interesting way. And I think he's very different to other billionaires, because he invests all of his money. He loves memes as well. He's just a sound guy, and I would really, really love to kind of talk to him and understand how his mind works. Because if you've watched the Joe Rogan one with him, when he starts smoking, obviously, you imagine him now, but smoking that as well. I'd love to just talk to him and to kind of get to know him more. And yeah, he's a good guest I'd want to have on.
Yeah, that's really cool. Joe Rogan is the podcasters. He's the big podcast guy. So yeah, that would be really, really cool. I was asked this question, and if I could interview, someone, I probably, I guess this is my wrestling podcast. I guess I'll say The Rock,
Oh
and
yeah.
Dwayne Johnson. I guess that'll be a really, 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 really cool, man. Really, really cool. Hey Jay, man. Before you go, man. Anything, man? Anything you like to say, man? Any shout outs you would like to say?
I just want to say, well, if you can join me on my podcast sometime soon, I'd love that. And I just want to say it's been an absolute pleasure to join you today. And I'd just like to thank all the fans who are listening now, and to subscribe and follow all your accounts. You're doing an amazing job. Keep it up, mate. I'm going to be listening all the way.
No problem, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it a lot, man. Appreciate it. Stay focused out there, man. Keep doing your thing. Stay safe. You guys, man, go subscribe. Go check out the Backboard Podcast. You guys, man, for real. Go subscribe and go check them out. Jay, man, I appreciate you joining me here on the podcast this week, man. Thank you. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Yo, Jay, appreciate you joining me here on the podcast this week. It was a dope time chatting with you, man. All the way from Nottingham, United Kingdom. Dope time, man. It was the second person that I chatted with, internationally. So that's really, really cool, bro. Keep doing your thing, you guys. Go check out the Backboard Podcast. Go check out my man Jay, man, all the way from the UK. Wasn't trying to rhyme there, but hey, man, that was really, really cool, you guys. Really, really cool. But we're gonna jump back into some more wrestling, you guys, man. Onto some more wrestling. I didn't want to waste Jay's time, man. He had to go, but we're gonna jump back into some more wrestling, you guys. Like I was saying with Jay, Edge, Randy Orton, don't match up on Monday Night Raw, in my opinion. Edge back into the flow. A lot of people was like, man, what? A part-timer winning the Royal Rumble? And Edge was like, part-timer? Really? Y'all gonna call me a part-timer? Man, I'm gonna be here every week. And if he gonna be here every week, then that's what's up. Because I remember when The Rock came back, at Valentine's Day, February 2011, and said, I'm never leaving again. And he left again. You feel me? So, I mean, I commend guys such as, Edge, come back and, stick with it. A lot of guys, come in this wrestling game, and leave because they don't like the creative aspect. Do something about it. You got to do something about it. Batista's gone. The Rock is gone. And I want to say shout out to my guy Whip Dog, Deshaun, and Daryl from the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast, aka The Whip Show. Go check them out, you guys, man. My man Deshaun, when I was on his podcast, actually when he was on my podcast, I'm gonna be on his podcast, you guys. Check him out. Check him out. Go check out the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast. Go follow them. I'm going to be on their podcast. But when I had him on my podcast, he was talking about how WWE don't want a superstar as big as The Rock was in WWE no more. They don't want a superstar to get as that big because they feel as though that superstar is just going to leave them. The Rock did. We only had The Rock for what, 6 years? 6 years. Imagine if we still had The Rock. Imagine if Stone Cold didn't get landed on his neck in what was it, 97, 98, I believe? Not even sure. I don't think it was 98. But, when he got landed on his neck with Owen Hart. You feel me? So, but I'm really proud of Edge. He's back. He won the Royal Rumble, man. So we're going to see which championship he chooses. And speaking of returns, Carlito is back, you guys. Man, Carlito is jacked. My man is jacked. Super jacked. Like, whoa. Like, for real. And I tell you guys, man, I'm watching some old school WWE stuff on the network. I came into wrestling in 1999, and of course I watched some old school, and I went back and watched it. But I kind of started where I came in at to kind of relive some of those moments and enjoy that. I know it was great moments at previous, but I mean I wanted to start there, and I'm all the way up to 2006, and Carlito was doing this thing where he was with Chris Masters. Now they have parted ways. They didn't win at WrestleMania against Kane and Big Show. That was WrestleMania 22. So Carlito, man, looks slim compared to what he looks like now. Carlito is buff. But like I was saying with Jay, man, he didn't have his apple. I was like, man, Carlito's going to give him the backstabber, man, and then go get the apple and spit at him. But obviously that did not happen. But something that did happen, you guys, man. Bad Bunny showed up on Monday Night Raw, you guys. Yes, Bad Bunny, international music artist, you guys. He's doing his thing. You know, he's hot. You know, he's hot. He got a really hot single with Booker T, named Booker T. You know, man, Booker T finds his way to get back into the headline somehow, man. You gotta stay relevant, I guess. But Bad Bunny, man, was on Miz TV. Gosh, man, can we get rid of Miz TV? Like, these guys are freaking annoying. And I guess that's why. I guess that means they doing their job, huh? But these guys are annoying. Bad Bunny, man, dropped off the top rope, help Damian Priest win his match up against the Miz, man. Another thing, man, Naomi is back, man. I was glad to see her and the Women's Royal Rumble returning. And she teamed with Lana this past Monday night in a triple threat match to determine the number one contenders for the Women Tag Team Championships. I think it's weird, and I think it's interesting now that she's the number one contender with Naomi, and that Shayna and Nia is now the tag team champions again. But hey, Monday Night Raw was okay, man. But Alexa Bliss, once again, man, she's doing that thing, man. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. You know, she just found her way on the top rope to distract Randy Orton for that little bit. You know, what else, man? With the Hurt Business, man. Can we get the Hurt Business on page, man? Come on. It's Black History Month here, man. Get the Hurt Business on page. You know, I don't think these guys should be having a gauntlet match, you know, and losing to Matt Riddle, even though I like Matt Riddle, bro, you know. But, man, we're going to move on, you guys, because Monday Night Raw was dope. Indeed, it was. NXT, you guys. NXT this past week was incredible. We've seen some guys move on in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. We've seen Legado Fantasma move on, who had an incredible matchup, in my opinion, with Lucha House Party. And I think those guys should just stay on NXT, in my opinion, you know. I mean, I understand WWE don't have a lot of tag teams right now. They tag team division is just like AEW's women's division right now. So that's just where it's at right now. But yeah, man, this NXT this NXT Dusty Rhodes tournament is on fire, man. The women and the men, you guys. So it's going to be very interesting. And I spoke with Edge in NXT. He made his debut in NXT, saying he may go after the NXT championship. I was saying with my man Jay, man, like, come on. I'm winning the Royal Rumble. I want to challenge the WWE champion in the main event at WrestleMania, or the biggest superstar, and which is actually Roman. So, I mean, like, spear versus spear. You know, Drew never fought Roman. I mean, Drew never had a matchup with Edge. So we see where that goes, though. But what's your guys' thoughts on the winner of the Royal Rumbles challenging NXT superstars? Tell me what's your guys' thoughts, man. For real. But we're going to see the fallout, you guys, man, on SmackDown tonight, Friday, man. We're going to see it. Bianca Belair, yes, she won the Women's Royal Rumble. Man, oh, man, was that beautiful. Man, oh, man, I shed a tear, man. I shed a tear when she won the Royal Rumble. For real. That emotion poured through the screen, and everything. She was just, when she was waving that hair, man, she was just, man, that was beautiful. You know, I mean, Edge, you can tell his emotion too, but Bianca, and then with the documentary just coming out like proud to the Rumble. Come on, man. Congratulations to Bianca Belair, you guys. Hey, all my AEW fans, man, I don't want to leave you guys out, man. AEW was pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. I like the relationship that they're doing with Impact. You know, just, you know, I don't know. I don't know what's up with Sting. Why is he there, really? You know, I don't know. I really don't know, but I'm digging AEW, man. I really am. A cool moment that took place this week was Kenta hit the go to sleep, man. So Kenta, you know, Hideo Itami, is he in AEW? I guess we gotta wait and see, man. I guess we gotta wait and see, man. So AEW was dope, man. We're gonna see what happened on SmackDown tonight and everything, man. So Yeah, it was a cool episode, man. Really, really cool episode. You guys, man, before I go, man, Martin, I appreciate you joining me here on the podcast this week once again. Shout out to Nottingham, England. Shout out to the UK. Appreciate all you guys in the UK tuning in to the 1130 podcast. I appreciate it so much. The 1130 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling. Subscribe, man. Follow me, man. Follow me. And let's get the 1130 podcast up and out there even more. And also, go subscribe and follow the Backboard Podcast with my man, Jay Martin. For real. Do it now. Don't wait. Do it now. Man. Great show. Before I go, you guys, man, don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast on the Twitter at Dre on Wheels. Follow me on Instagram at the 1130 podcast. Like the 1130 podcast on Facebook. And you guys, man, subscribe. Yes, I appreciate everybody who's been subscribing and watching the 1130 podcast on YouTube. We got to 1,000 subscribers. Appreciate everybody, man. We gonna keep trucking at it. Speaking of the 1130 podcast, you guys, this Wednesday, you guys, the 1130 podcast is moving to Wednesdays. Yes, Wednesdays, 11:30 a.m. on YouTube, and it's coming to EB Radio. Yes, EB Radio, you guys. The 1130 podcast streaming this Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So go download the EB Radio app, you guys. Listen to your favorite hip-hop, R&B, Sunday gospel, all that good stuff, all your podcasts, radio shows, DJ shows, all that stuff, man. So it's going to be good, man. It's going to be really good. And also, you guys, man, if you'd like to be a guest here on the podcast, email me. That's the1130podcast at gmail.com. That's the1130podcast at gmail.com. Or just DM me. Message me on social media or whatever like that, you know. You know how the new millenniums get down. But you guys, man, dope episode, man. Appreciate it so much. Another episode in the books, man. Happy February to everyone in the UK, all over the states here, in DC too, man. Everybody stay safe. You know, it's crazy times. We're going to get through this, you guys. So stay safe, man. For real. Yo, it's your man Dre, a.k.a. Dre on Wheels. And I'm out.